Hi, this is Mike Maloney. And, Jeff Clark has been on mining tours and speaking engagements, and he hasn't been here for quite a while, but he's back. Jeff, I want to ask you something real quick. What is the
Okay.
difference between California and the Titanic?
I know the answer to that. The Titanic had its lights on when the ship sank.
And
Uh,
how does that affect you? What does it mean to you?
I think most people know I live in Northern California, and we have had a number of, they call them flex alerts or, power warnings that they're going to have rolling blackouts. I'm lucky so far, and hopefully we get through this recording before they cut the power. But it's been, honestly, in my opinion, just my opinion only, but it's been kind of ridiculous that they have this much difficulty providing power to citizens in what is the fifth or sixth largest economy in the world. And, I lay the blame 99% of it at the feet of politicians. They just have not, planned and prepared for these kind of events, and that it's totally their fault. And it's probably going to get worse because the California budget is completely upside down. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but they continue to spend and continue to drive
On,
their interests only
on
toward what they
everything but the necessities, on everything but the necessities.
yeah it's really kind of embarrassing, quite frankly, that the state is in this much turmoil over simply providing electricity. So we could talk about that for a long time, but yeah, the Titanic had its lights on when it went down, but I don't know about California.
What about the water situation? I know I used to live in Southern California, and there, the planning for things and the support to be able to support the population. They take all these taxes and they spend it on everything but the things that keep everybody alive.
Right. There's a water issue. Power. Yeah, there's a water issue also in California. We've been told to cut back there. You can only, water your lawn on certain days. They've pushed a lot of people toward, away from watering to the drip system because it uses less water. So we actually did put in our front lawn a drip system, and we have no grass anymore. So it'd be nice to have grass, but I live in California, so I'm going to pay if I want to, water the lawn. So,
yeah, one of the nice things about Puerto Rico is the power here is extremely unreliable. After Hurricane Maria, they couldn't keep the power on for a single day, and then about a year later, they could keep it on for about a week, and now 5 years later, they're able to keep the power on for a month. But my ranch up in the mountains is, it's so remote that when the power goes out up there, we are the lowest priority on their list. So we can go for a week without power. And what that has done is gotten me prepared because I'm all on solar and Tesla power walls. And I've got Starlink because so I don't have to rely on systems that are aging and falling apart and constantly being repaired and constantly failing. So it's the lack of infrastructure here in Puerto Rico has gotten me prepared for what I see as a situation that is just going to get worse because politicians keep on spending in the wrong areas that are not necessarily going to bolster society and propel us forward. They're going to take what I call economic energy out of the system and spread it around and get themselves busy on everything but what will advance human prosperity.
Well, we're seeing that in real time right now. So, not just in California, but other places as well. So, preparing for the future, Mike, that's a good point. It's not just about our money, right? It's about providing for your entire lifestyle. So that's a good reminder.
Yeah. So you did an article recently on GoldSilver.com. What really happened for silver? Will it really happen for silver? I'm sorry. three things I told the Silver Symposium audience. So you just came back from the Silver Symposium just a little while ago. So tell us about this and run us through this article really quick because it's important.
Yeah, the Silver Symposium was fun. It was the attendance was low for obvious reasons, the silver price being down, sentiment being down. But I love these small conferences because they're a little more intimate. You can get to know people and you can have quality conversations with people, not just shake their hand and say hi. So it's really great for that purpose. I've made a number of new friends there. So these small conferences are great because a lot of the others are really big and it's harder to have those quality conversations. So something to keep in mind for next year, for someone who loves silver and would like to attend a conference. That might be a good one. So, but yeah,
everybody, these things like you just said, silver is down, so the attendance was poor, and people don't buy when it's down. They're just not interested. They seem to want to chase price. And this is the time to actually be interested. And then when everybody's chasing price, that's when you want to watch for the time to sell, is when everybody else is jumping in. That's a few years off. But
right.
Sorry, I interrupted. Tell me.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Tell me.
Well, the idea was that, everyone, including myself, thought that 2022, this year, was going to be a great year for silver. And it obviously has not been that. And, I have a little egg on my face because I predicted silver would be a lot higher, mainly because of inflation, and that hasn't happened. So what's going on? So I wanted to address that head on at the conference. I had 45 minutes to do that. And I created an article out of part of my talk on the three things that I said at the Silver Symposium to that audience about silver. The first one is I wanted everyone to make sure they understood what silver's DNA is. And that is, strictly its historical price behavior has long periods of stagnant weakness where it's doing nothing. It's boring, and then it's a little boring a little longer, and then it's boring more. And then all of a sudden there's a boom and the price ignites and it spikes and it goes into sometimes a dramatic sudden rise. We've seen this multiple times throughout history. So I spent like 10 minutes just showing all this boring boom periods, and I couldn't even get to all of them in my talk. So, and we'll post the video, I think, Mike, on goldsilver.com when it comes out. But it's really kind of interesting how many of these there were. And the point of that being is that, we're in this boring phase right now. But history is very clear on this. Over the past 50 plus years, there is always a boom or a spike after these long periods of boring periods. So, and the other thing I wanted to try to get across to people was, there's a lot of people that were asking, why silver isn't rising, and they're asking those same questions today as people have been asking before, as investors have been asking before. So, for example, why wasn't silver rising in the mid-70s when inflation was soaring? Why was it weak in the mid-90s when the economy boomed and industrial demand spiked? Why did it fall after 9/11 in 2001? So the questions we're asking today are very similar to what have been asked many times before when silver was weak. And yet in every single one of those cases, the price was doing nothing but coiling, and eventually, sooner or later, led to another big spike. Sometimes, in some cases, a very dramatic spike.
Yeah, an explosion, right?
Explosion, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, you've got some news right now. You just launched a new website.
Yes, I'm excited to say, and I think everyone who follows me on Twitter knows, but I just launched thegoldadvisor.com. It's a takeoff from my Twitter handle. And I'm excited to be providing that service now to people. So we'll have lots of gold, silver stuff over there on the site, as you know, Mike. But I'm also going to be talking a lot about mining stocks over there. I needed a portal where I could share what I know about mining stocks, talk about the stocks that I like in a little bit more detail than what the limitations you have on Twitter, right? Or a conference presentation. I can't follow up on picks I give. So now I can do all that. So I wanted to give back to the community to the gold and silver community that I dearly love, if I can say that. And so I'm at a point in my life where that's just what I wanted to do. And so it's all free. You have to sign up and register for the newsletter to see my portfolio. But other than that, it's all free. And it's just my way of wanting to give back. So we're having fun with it. And the fun will only get better as time goes on. So I'm excited about it. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you're one of the analysts that actually goes and visits the mines. You were just up in Canada for a while, touring some mines. Don't tell us the names of the mines because you want to save that for your website. But can you tell us a little bit about the trip and some of the stuff you saw?
Oh, it's been great. A lot of these are explorers. They're not producers or even developers. I really like to look at exploration companies and the companies that are looking for gold, right? So that's what I had a big whirlwind trip looking at many of those. And I wrote up a site visit report for each one of them. And those will be on the site. We'll release those as, every other day type of thing, because they're big, meaty reports, right? And then I leave next week to Beaver Creek. I'll be talking to institutional investors there. That'll be fun and very informative. And then the following week, I'm off on another mine site tour. So there'll be lots on the website about that. But those tours are a lot of fun. And I try to put the reader right there with me, on site, looking at everything. There's going to be tons of pictures and all kinds of things in there to help an investor do their own due diligence to see if that, stock is right for them. These aren't really recommendations. They're just what I like and why I like them. And hopefully that's helpful to investors.
Yeah. One thing that investors need to know is that the explorers, this is, for me, I only use like gambling money on the explorers because they're a moonshot. If you hit one, it's going to be a big payoff. But most of them are not actually going to go into production. So you want somebody that's actually, Robert Kiyosaki used to say investing is a team sport. And what somebody that's interested in this area can do is add somebody like you to somebody that's a boots on the ground kind of guy to his team. Because one of the things about mining stocks and exploration companies and so on, you're not investing in the metal in the ground as much as you're investing in the management team. And so having somebody that actually goes and meets the team and sees how trustworthy are these guys, how competent are they, that's really what you're investing in. Am I correct?
Absolutely. As everyone in the industry says, it's people first. You have to look at the people. And you may miss a few big high flyers now and then of someone who is younger and not as experienced who hits a big hole or something like that. But for the most part, to reduce your risk and increase your odds, you really need to look at people who have been serially successful. And that's not my term. That Rick Rule, many people have said that. So you really have to do that. And one of the things on our website is the criteria questionnaire. And the first questions are all about the people, how much they've personally invested in it, what their prior successes have been, and things like that. So you're absolutely right, Mike.
Yeah. And so that sort of brings us to the close of this video. And I want to look at a meme here and ask you if this meme sort of reflects an investor's expectations in what they're going to achieve by investing in anything and the reality of what it's going to take. So
yes.
You see that meme with expectations and reality?
Yes, that's very true. And it's just as true, if not more, with mining stocks. They are riskier. Yeah, that's exactly.
They are riskier, but the payoff can be big. And the time that you want to look at mining stocks is when a bull market is beginning. Now, we had a great bull market from 2000 to 2011, and then we've been in what I call a cyclical pullback or correction. I don't consider 2015 through 2022 a bear market. I consider all of this nothing but a correction in a giant bull market that is inevitable. It's, gold and silver to me are the only assets that come with a central bank guarantee. The guarantee is that central banks will never ever stop printing their currency to oblivion, and therefore real money, which is measured in their currency, has to rise.
Absolutely, Mike. You've made a number of videos on that, of course, and Hidden Secrets of Money talks about it. So it's the nature of the system and that it's designed to fail. It's failure by design, ultimately. And that's why we own gold until the monetary system changes, as you've pointed out numerous times. We have to own gold. We have no choice. We have to own gold, real money, until that system is changed and much more healthy.
Okay, so I want to tell everybody to go visit thegoldadvisor.com and then close this out with a quote from John Maynard Keynes, reflecting what we were just talking about, destroying the currency. There is no subtler, no surer means of overturning the existing basis of society than to debauch the currency. So I want to thank everybody for watching, and thank you, Jeff.
Great to see you again, Mike.
Okay, see you later.
At GoldSilver.com, we have a price match guarantee, free shipping, and global storage options. Get the best-selling book, Guide to Investing in Gold and Silver, for free at GoldSilver.com.